Okay, a little bit of interesting information about Donald Trump's failing media company, Truth Social. That company is actually co owned by co founders Andy Latinsky and Wes Moss. They were actually contestants on The Apprentice. They helped create Truth Social, and they own, I think it's 9% of the company. Now, Truth Social was actually going through a merger, and it was presented to a bunch of investors for this merger by this investment group who was putting together a spec deal, which is basically what they'll do is they find a secret company. It's not supposed to be a company that's named or known or targeted in any way, shape, or form. And they get a bunch of investors together and say, you put in this much money, and that much money will give you this much a percentage return. And it's going to be a company in the social media space, in the entertainment space, in the culinary space, whatever. And that's supposed to be what it is. Put up the money. This is the genre of the business we're going to get into, and this will be your return. When in fact the deal was put together knowing that it was for Donald J. Trump's Truth Social company. This was told to the investors, which it wasn't supposed to be, but it was. The SEC found out about it, put a freeze on the deal. This deal was since let go. It was released. It was approved after a long investigation to go through as early as the 22nd, I believe, of March 25th or 26th, something like that. Anyway, this deal, when the merger goes through, Donald J. Trump owns 79 million shares of this company. It would have come out to around $4 billion, something like this. So all of this money that he owes from Engoron saying no and giving him 25 days and stuff like that to come up with almost $550 million, plus E. Jean Carroll's. Donald Trump just today actually just filed for an extension of relief, a stay on paying E. Jean Carroll's money right now. Obviously, that's going to be vetoed as well. So he's looking down the barrel at coming up with a whole ton of money. He did just get the opportunity to go to the banks because there was a stay lifted for him to do business with banks in New York State. So he does have that opportunity and to utilize his businesses in order to come up with all this money. But overall, he was banking on this money from this merger to carry him, pay all his bills, and him make out okay. Right now, the newest information on this merger is quite interesting because the co-founders had their stock shares diluted. Donald Trump had 90% of this company, and it wasn't enough. So he tried to screw over these guys who only owned 8.6% of this company. So he tried to dilute their stock and give more stock to Melania and the kids and everything like that. These guys are now have filed a lawsuit with Delaware, which is everything's incorporated in Delaware with this, for a injunction to stop the deal from going through. This throws a huge monkey wrench into Donald Trump's awaiting the $4 billion payoff. That may never come because if the judge, the person in charge here that overlooks this stuff, looks at this and says something fishy's going on, that's not ethical, that's not everything, they have the power to actually torpedo the entire deal. Mainly because it was already under scrutiny from the SEC. It's already a little bit shady, and this will show even more. So they will stop. They will stop the whole thing. Then he'll be really screwed. I think that was the backup Donald Trump was planning on using when he went to the banks to say, I need money to pay all my bills. And that may have just blown up in his face because he got greedy and 90% wasn't enough for him. He wanted more. So anyway, that's the update on the Truth Social and Digital World Media merger that was supposed to be completed by March 22nd. May or may not happen. Pay attention. This should be interesting, but it just adds a little bit more salt into the wounds of Donald J. Trump and a couple more skeletons dancing out of that closet that he deserves to kick him right square in the balls. So here we go. Stay diligent, stay educated, and be kind. We are in this together. We can open popcorn together and just watch the shit show unfold. God bless.